those that make survival, or let's say the cause of the COVID disease, more severe. So we may have this situation that people with low socioeconomic status actually will be suffering more from COVID, and they are also at risk in the work conditions. So these are the things that the health systems will definitely see, and as more cases occur, and there will be more severe cases among people with low opportunities to protect themselves and who may have already pre-existing conditions. We'll see more really severe sick people getting into the hospitals that need to be taken care of, who need to be taken care of, and not all systems will be able to cope with this.
Now, this isn't the world's first pandemic. Some experts say it won't be the last. So what lessons can we derive from today that would help shield those in situations most precarious from the worst effects of the pandemic?
We do see this so often in diseases, be it chronic or infectious diseases coming up, that we have social differences in the disease risk and in the disease course. So this is nothing new, and we just need to be acting more swiftly. And in the beginning already, be aware and realize that this is what is going to come, that we will have groups that are particularly affected by such a pandemic, and we need to start having structures that really allow swift and action that really brings those issues that are there out in the open immediately at the beginning of such pandemics, so that we can care for people much better, that we have the ability to look at these working conditions, change, for example, the working and living conditions of migrants immediately. And that shouldn't be actually a task for pandemics only, but in general. But it's hard to get the politicians doing this. We have been trying here in Germany. It is a slow process, but it needs to be done, and it needs to be done before the next wave of this epidemic or even future epidemics.
Time to act. Thank you very much, Professor Hayut Zib of the Leibniz Institute for Prevention Research and Epidemiology. Thanks for your analysis.
Thank you.
Now you get to ask the questions. Here's our science correspondent, Derek Williams.
I've heard researchers talk about trying to mute the immune response, but also saying that a younger, stronger immune system is more successful in fighting off COVID-19. Isn't that a contradiction?
To understand the apparent contradiction here, you have to understand that there are different stages of COVID-19 that patients can go through. The first is usually an initial infection in the upper respiratory tract, and that's usually where it stays with most people. That's where having a strong, fast-acting immune system is really great. It's able to keep the disease in check and eventually wipe it out. In some cases, it keeps it so effectively in check that you might not even notice that you had it. But in more severe forms of the disease, if the virus eventually makes it to the lungs or to other organs, it can kick in a severe immune response. And when that happens, the immune system can start attacking not just disease tissue, but healthy tissue as well. That's when doctors have to step in and try to mute the immune response with drugs, because if it spirals out of control, it can kill you. But striking a balance between letting the immune system do its job and reining it in if it spins out of control is pretty tricky.
Now there's nothing like a glass of lemonade on a hot day. In London, 2 enterprising 6-year-olds are selling cups of the juice to help with Yemen's humanitarian crisis. In just 6 weeks, the boys have raised more than $50,000. Yemen is reeling from the impact of a devastating war and the rapid spread of coronavirus. It's all from their own recipe, but the boys are keeping that a secret for now. That wraps up our show. Thank you so much for watching.
This is City TV. Hello and welcome to the City Newsroom. My name is Pearl Akanya Ofuri.
And I'm Michael Obodu. Coming up.
Low turnout heralds the end of the EC's mass voter registration exercise.
As most people have come already, so they don't have much attendance over here. The people here are not many.
Officials of the West African Examination Council assaulted by students of the Bright Senior High School in the Eastern region. The headmaster of the school has been accused of masterminding the act.
They were shouting I'm a thief, so nobody wanted to approach me. So they beat me with a stake, and I was still holding my bag because I didn't want to give it to them. But I realized that more and more students were coming.
Also in the news, Managing Director of Ferro Fabric assaults City TV cameraman and destroys his equipment for covering agitations by workers of the company.
I saw him. I was not at that, but I was there with the cameraman before he attacked the camera. That's how we to have understanding, he wants to impose on you what he wants you to do. That's how we have to work. We are coming here.
Parliament suspends fiscal rule to allow government to exceed 5% annual budget deficit.
Expenditures have had to be escalated in order to contain the pandemic. It is that which has given rise to the excess over the threshold set in the Fiscal Responsibility Act.
Hello and welcome to the City Newsroom on City TV. My name is Michael Obodu. Now, with the Electoral Commission's registration exercise, which began on the 30th of June, it finally comes to an end today, the 6th of August. Now, the EC says it's been able to meet and exceed its target of 15 million registrants. The Greater Accra region is topping the charts with over 3.2 million people having registered as at the end of the 5th phase of the exercise, followed by the Ashanti region that has an excess of 2.7 million, and then the Eastern region that has an excess of 1.4 million. Now, for persons who by the close of today would not be able to register, the Electoral Commission says it will carry out a mop-up exercise from the 8th and the 9th of this month at its various district offices for persons who are not able to register to do so. Now, today we are observing the final phase of the exercise, and we are currently at Amahia in the Adenta municipality, specifically the Interneeds JHS school. And to our surprise, the turnout is actually high. We are seeing in excess of 50 people here right now to register, as compared to the normal perception that on the final day as today, the numbers will drop. Let's get closer and speak with the registration officer and get a better understanding of how the process has been so far today. Hello, Madam. Please, welcome to the City Newsroom. Can you tell us why the numbers are so high today?
For this, we are even surprised because we started on Saturday. It wasn't like this. We recorded 174, which is very low. And yesterday, we had 97 people reporting. But for today, we don't really know where they are coming from. So I can't really explain. I don't know if the party agents brought them somewhere to come and register over here. I can't really tell. Yeah.
So how many people have you had today so far?
So far, we have recorded 50 so far. 50. Yeah.
But the previous days, what were the numbers looking like?
Yesterday we recorded 97. At close of day, we recorded 97 people. Yeah.
But as at this time, you've done half of that already?
Yes, we've done half of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, per your estimation, with all the numbers you are seeing here, how many would you do by the close of day?
We can register more than 100, yes. If they are more than 100, we'll be able to take care of them. Yeah.
Okay. Now, have you had any challenges since you started the process here?
Yeah, the machine, it goes off, it has been restarting all the time. So that is also that's the only challenge we have been encountering with the device. I would say the device, the BVD device, that's the challenge we've been encountering. It goes on, you have to restart, continue, goes off, restart, yes.
So I have with me here a registrant who came with his wife. Now tell me, sir, what time did you get here? And why did you decide to come today of all days?
Oh, I came today because of my busy schedules. My schedules couldn't allow me to come there earlier. So, and today being the last day, I thought, no, I have to be part of the process. That is why I did.
Now, you mentioned you came with your wife. Explain to us why.
Because I don't have what it takes to do the registration, as in the Ghana card or the passport. So I came with her for her to guarantee for me.
That's nice. And so who will do the second guaranteeing for you then?
Yeah, one of my brothers.
Then you really came prepared then?
Yeah, very prepared.
So tell me, what do you make of the numbers here today?
Yeah, what I heard earlier was that there's a long queue. That's what even actually one of the things that discouraged me from coming. But when I came today, I think the numbers were quite low compared with what I heard earlier. The impression I got earlier was that there's a very long queue.
So did your wife register here?
Yeah.
Let me just ask her briefly. So is today more than when you came?
Yes, today is more than.
On the final day?
Yes. Okay. Yesterday it was so much, but today you can see the number is more than yesterday.
You are still watching the City Newsroom on City TV. We have now come to Otinibi in the La Quantanan Madina Municipal Assembly, specifically the DC Primary School. Now, this center has 2 registration points. Just like has been the case over these last few days, the attendance here is very low. There are quite a few number of people here. We'll go close and speak to the registration officers and find out how the exercise has been so far today, and speak to some registrants also and understand why they decided to come today of all days to register. Ednam, tell me, what has today's the final day been like so far?
Oh, everything is okay. Everything is on course. As you can see, we've been able to clear most of the applicants, so the place is okay.
So on an average, how many people do you attend to?
Over 100 in a day.
And it's just about 1 p.m. now. How many have you done so far?
So far, maybe let's say we've done about 50 plus now.
About 50 people. Okay. Now, today being the last day, has there been anything different from the pattern of attendance?
Yes. Today the number was low. As compared to the first 3-4 days, the number was down.
So we've come to the adjacent registration center at the DC Primary School registration area. We'll speak to the RO who just finished attending to one of the registrants. Hello, sir. Please tell me, how has the attendance been today?
Not that large, because the last day most people have come already, so today we don't have much attendance over here. The people here are not many. Yeah.
Now, prior to today, what's your average attendance been like?
Okay, 160. The highest we did was 190. Yeah, that's for the first day. Second day 190, then third day 186 or so. Yeah. And then since then to 126 thereabout.
Tell me about the proof of nationality. Which of them have you been using or has been more regularly used here?
Okay, so people use the Ghana card. Yeah. For the passports, it's not encouraging. 5-7 people, but for the Ghana card, 80, 90, and 100. And those are the guarantors. They also come in their numbers. They come more than those with the Ghana card.
There's a registrant here, and for him, he came with his mother to actually guarantee for him. Now, tell me, sir, why did you wait till the last day to come register?
Oh, actually, I've been going to work, and today I asked for permission to come and do it. As today is the last day to do it. That's why I'm here.
Okay, and I saw you came with your mother.
Yes, please.
So who will do the other second guarantee? Who will guarantee for you to complete it?
Actually, a friend of mine will join.
Okay. So you came prepared?
Yes, please.
Now, in your estimation, how long do you think it would take for you to go through the process?
Actually, it depends on what's happened.
Okay.
It depends. So I can't even give the actual time.
Well, so you have it there from another registrant, and for him, he decided to come with his own guarantors, unlike others who probably would solicit for help from other fellow registrants to guarantee for them. You are still watching the City Newsroom.
The Electoral Commission's mass voter registration exercise has officially ended. The exercise, which started on the 30th of June, was carried out in over 30,000 registration centers across the country. Today on the City Newsroom, we bring you an overview of the mass voter registration exercise. Our focus is Amasaman. This is one of the registration centers in Amasaman. We'll be speaking to some of the registrants, EC officials, to find out how the exercise has been on the last day. Let's speak to the registration officer at the MA Primary School Amasaman 1 Registration Center to get an overview of the exercise.
My personal assessment is on the guarantee form. People use the guarantee to make the exercise very successful because the Ghana card and then the passport, being the primary breeder, was not so much like that.
Have you had instances where people's voter eligibility has been challenged?
The eligibility, we have not come across that, but the only residential, non-residential, and that one too, when they attended the DCERO meeting, they saw that the person was only 6 months at the place. So she was directed to a different place to register over there.
And how many people have registered so far?
So far, for today, we are about 50. But my cluster is we are getting to 4,000 for the 5 phases.
You mean that the number of people who turned up today compared to previous days was not so much?
Yes, that is it. They already registered at the other centers before even we came here. So the highest they say we registered here since we came here 1st August was 89. Today we are about 50.
The registration exercise is ongoing at this center. From what I can see, there isn't much the officers are doing. But let's speak to this party agent and find out his own assessment, of today's exercise.
I think so far so good, with the exception of the fact that we've experienced foreign people from other electoral areas. Today we've not recorded much of those foreign people from other electoral areas, but the turnout is a bit down. This is another registration center within Amasaman. We want to speak to the registration officer here to find out whether they are also recording low numbers like we saw in the other registration centers in Amasaman.
When we started registering them, we had about, it continued from 100 up to 150, then it got down to 100, then 85. Now we are having 40 something, so it seems it is decreasing rather.
And what could be the reason why it's decreasing?
My perception is that maybe we've already captured. When we started from the other session, and some people trooped in over there, so we had a lot of issues, not issue like challenging on that, but we had a lot of people wanting to register. So when we came here, it seems like since a lot of them have already registered, when we came here, we haven't had any issue like people trooping in to register.
Well, not many people turned up on the final day of the registration exercise at this registration center from our observations. But in this building, the Ganoth District Registration Review Committee of the Electoral Commission is sitting. Members of the committee are hearing cases where people's voter eligibility has been questioned. We'll be speaking to the committee to know how many cases have been brought before them, those that were disqualified and those that were allowed, to get a voter's ID card.
Then you will be going to the birth certificate registration, you go and check it to authenticate his card.
Also, branch didn't now challenge it. There were table and a man being by say,
on the Galentiamon. Am I never a minimum? And I'll know minimum in the baby other. And Tikasa Wakans will be anti. You say, am I never to translate and sana or more? I catch a use on is natural. And I'm challenging.
Now, why we will be son and 70 Biana?
Because I'm a country on tea. We are some couple of one so on tea. You say, more never know a translate. And I'm challenging Saturday on your gun, and I'm challenging.
Ultimate in a language in Kwaso and Cassette on your gun, any. If it's a tree, and you'll be an tree. Nani Panasuni had in Tino. Yentimi so enyina so emu nipa ne fo se onye Ghana ni enu nti se ne akoye no ye betu asheda ye be say atena se Monday
it's also adjourned to Monday, so now we have 3 cases which is adjourned to Monday. So now the disqualified cases are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the qualified cases are 1, 2, 3. Then the adjourned cases are 4.
Since you started the sit-in, how many cases have come before?
32 cases, 38 cases. 38 cases, and just last night we had another 3.
So as a committee, what are some of the challenges you faced so far since you started sitting?
There's been cases where the challenge does not appear, where the challenger comes. So when it happens that way, we need to adjourn the case and then make sure we get the 2 parties. There's been one, we've sat, this is our 4th sitting. Since day 1, we've been inviting the challenge. He's not appearing, so it looks like he's not interested in the card. So when it's happened this way, we've contacted him on 4 different occasions, and he did not appear. So we ruled and we disqualified him.
Some of them also said they are no more interested in the card. And don't like the card anymore.
And others too realize that there's a legal implication of what we are doing. So when they see that there's a commander here, and then if they don't take care, some of them will be implicated. Then they run away. They don't even appear at all.
Like some came here
this morning.
Someone was here this morning. When he saw that someone was arrested because the information he was giving was not accurate, he left. Like no, he saw the policeman came to arrest somebody, so the person left. And there are some too who also confessed on the phone when we called them. There was one lady who told us she's not a Ghanaian. She's so sorry. She thought she can also come and do it, you see. So that is the basis where we disqualify some of them.
Meanwhile, party agents of the governing New Patriotic Party and the opposition National Democratic Congress say that they are satisfied with the execution of the exercise in the Upper East region.
Even though most registration centers recorded low turnout, both parties observed that the processes have been seamless and without violence. City News' Fred Awuni has more in this report.
A visit to some of the registration centers, such as Tindonsoblogo Clinic, Tindonsoblogo Primary, and Uradeb Village registration centers in the Bolgatanga municipality, revealed a low turnout of applicants. In fact, officials of the Electoral Commission at these centers had very little to do as there were no registrants. Some registration officials have been sharing their thoughts on the success of the exercise with City News.
I can't say that it's a low turnout. It's the coverage. Because the community people, they are informed the community. The first, second, third days, the people came up with their numbers and they have registered. So getting to the last days, maybe it's only the few people who were not having chance. They are not coming one after the other. But after covering the coverage is well taken.
When we started here, we were recording high numbers, but
other police stations around. So it's like, because here we're recording high, some decided to go to the other stations to register. So the numbers has reduced because of that.
For party agents of the New Patriotic Party and the National Democratic Congress, the registration exercise has been successful, but not without challenges.
Well, yeah, we are somehow satisfied, but the only challenge we have is since there's not been a lot of information from the NCC, so realize that so many people, they will come, we'll ask them why they are coming today, and then tell them that they were not aware. So that's our only challenge, but we are okay with it.
Since the day one, we found any problem, so I think I'm okay with whatever. Can't tell the low thing, but I think we are almost done with all the people around.
It has been very good from day one to now. We are together, we are brothers with workers from the EC. We are very good here, there's no problem. From the day one where people were coming, we registered over 180 something. Second day we had 180 something. Third day we had 60 something. Yesterday we had 40 something. I think from today so far we have about total we have about 500.
This is a new polling station. So far we have about 500 and something registered. So I hope the exercise has been successful. So we thank the ECE workers. They have a good relationship with us. We also have a good relationship with them. You can see that myself and my other colleague, we are together, NDC, NPP. So I hope our working relationship has been good.
The chief of Agotime Afegame in the Volta region has called on President Akufo-Addo to call the security agencies to order ahead of the 2020 general elections. The call comes on the back of reports of abuse on natives of the community who the security personnel perceive to be foreigners. Paramount Chief of Agotime Afegame, Nene Mahumantu, the 14th, in a media engagement, condemned the assault on natives of the area.
One of the security operatives pulled a gun from his car to shoot one of my senior chiefs, who is our Agotadwa, that's how we call it in our language. In fact, they came back and reported to me that this was what happened. In fact, we were shocked. The people of Agotime are peace lovers. We are here to just register to vote during the forthcoming general elections. And if guns will be coming out at this very moment, then we don't know what will happen during the voting time. So we are appealing to the government. We know maybe he may not be even aware of what is happening on the ground over here. This is our message to him. The people of Agotime, Afegame are peace lovers. But we cannot be intimidated, and that intimidation will be taken for granted. We will not allow that. We don't have guns. But any other way that we can use to protect ourselves, we can use it. I must say I have my subjects all over. Some are in Togo, some are in Ghana. But the laws of the land stated categorically that no Togolese will be allowed to register for this voter ID registration.
Now in the Eastern region, the exercise was marked by the arrest of a young man at the railway station 1 and 2 registration centers in the New Jaban South municipality. This was after he took out his phone to record a misunderstanding between supporters of the New Patriotic Party and the National Democratic Congress. Now in the northern region, turnout for the last day of the exercise was low. Our correspondent reports that most of the centers visited were deserted. Now let's bring you other stories. And in the Ashanti region, however, some registration officials say although the process has been successful, the government needs to intensify public education on the coronavirus pandemic, as some registrants who visited the various centers largely disregarded the safety protocols. City News' Fatih Amin Ibrahim has the rest of the story.
There was low turnout in the Ashanti region on the last day of the registration exercise, but some registration officials say the process has, however, been successful. Registration supervisor for Ofoyukrom constituency in the Ashanti region explained that the voters' registration turnout has been low, as the number of registered persons stands at 101,879 as opposed to the previous figure in the old register, which was about 127,000 in the Ofoyukrom constituency. Some registration officers have, however, attributed the difference to the closure of schools. According to them, majority of the students of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, for instance, would have registered if they were on campus. Speaking to City News, the registration supervisor for Ofoyukrom constituency indicated that the major challenge they faced during the registration exercise was the flouting of COVID-19 safety protocols.
The only challenge that we have, even us as we are finishing today, is the wearing of the nose mask. Some will not understand why they should wear the nose mask. They believe COVID is not real. But on the whole, it has been a very successful exercise. Because without nose mask, we will not play this thing. We need to educate the people that COVID has come to stay with us.
Some party agents at the Ofoyukrom MA Girls JHS Registration Center who spoke to City News also said that the registration was generally successful, even though they had fears of contracting COVID-19 in the early stages.
And so far, the registration has been successful when it comes to Ofoyukrom. Here, there's a full distance, there's no confusion here, and we thank Almighty Allah for the successful registration so far. I think it's a very nice exercise that we thank the EC. They have done a very good job for the exercise. Initially, we were thought that when we are coming to register, we got what? We get COVID-19. But unfortunately, we didn't hear anything about somebody have gotten COVID-19 or coronavirus. So in all, I would say that it has been a successful registration.
Still on the voters' registration exercise, there was confusion at the Abuchiman Registration Center located in the Ayawaso West constituency over the eligibility of a student who had come there to register. According to the party agents there, she was not yet 18 years old, hence their refusal to allow her to go through the process. There's more in this report by City News' Ansheli Ziu.
The registration officer on duty, who refused to speak on camera, told me that party agents suspected that school children were being bussed to the center to register, although they were not yet 18 years. He therefore cautioned both parties to restrain from such confrontations and rather pick up challenge forms to handle cases of this nature. At the Association Registration Center, also located in the Yawaso West constituency, the registration officer refused to register a lady because she could not prove she was a Ghanaian. However, this man, who claimed to be her husband, vouched for her eligibility.
I brought my wife with my daughter, and she registered the daughter, and the mother, she's not, the way I explained for her, I told her, the mother, they born her here, but she not from, the mother we born her, she from some place come, before they come and born her. And then the father through the same, they born her from Bo. So she's Ghanaian.
Meanwhile, this man, at the other hand, who admitted to being a Lebanese, also claimed to be a Ghanaian.
I'm a Ghanaian. My grandfather was in Ghana more than 110 years ago. So I'm a Ghanaian by birth, and I'm exercising my constitutional rights.
You were born in Ghana?
I'm born in Ghana, yes.
Oh, okay. So you have been staying in this electoral area for some time now?
Yes.
You work here, do you stay here permanently?
Yes, this is my home.
You're watching the City Newsroom on City TV. My name is Paola Kanya-Ofuri.
And I am Michael Obodu.
Now, still ahead in the news, students of the Bright Senior High School in the Eastern Region assault officials of the West African Examinations Council. We'll tell you why.
Details of that story and more after this break. Please stay with us.
Rigworld Solutions, forging the frameworks of Ghanaian industry. Engineering solutions from the heart of Takrady, Kejebil. At Rigworld Solutions, we manufacture industrial bolts and nuts, fasteners, hoses and fittings for the extractive and petrochemical industries. World-class products with local expertise. Locate our factory in Kejebil of the Takrady Takwa Road. Call 0302 949917 or 0540 107504. Email enquiries at rigworldsolutions.com. Rigworld Solutions, crafted in Ghana, engineered for the world.
Hi, my name is Michelle Atto. Join me and my friends from First National Bank as we host our maiden virtual property developers forum. Now, this is after a successful acquisition and subsequent merger with GHL Bank. Are you a player in the real estate development ecosystem? Are you a real estate developer? Are you an agent? Or are you a broker? If you are, then you don't want to miss this virtual property developers forum happening on the 6th of August at 10 a.m. This will be an opportunity for you to ask any questions regarding home loans to the entire leadership team. Now, this event is strictly by invitation, so please contact Marina on 020-927-9459 or Mantebia on 024-274-8162 to book your seat. First National Bank, how can we help?
You're welcome back to the City Newsroom. Now, a three-member committee set up by the Ashanti Regional Coordinating Council to investigate incidents that led to the death of a student of the KNUST Senior High School has submitted its report to the Ashanti Regional Minister. A six-member committee that had been set up by the Ghana Education Service for the same purpose submitted its report to the Director General of the Ghana Education Service last month. City News' Ashanti Regional Correspondent Hafiz Tijani reports.
Both committees were tasked to investigate circumstances that led to the death of the final year student Leonard Sam. They were also asked to investigate protests by students of the school who accused authorities of negligence leading to the death of their colleague. On July 6, students of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology Senior High School held a protest against the school authorities following the death of a student. According to the students, the deceased Leonard Sam was suffering from ulcer but was not given adequate medical attention by the school authorities. Ashanti Regional Minister Simon Osei Mensah is confident the findings of the committee will unravel the real issues which led to the disturbances at the KNUST Senior High School.
The basis for the composition of the committee is in Section 188 of the Local Governance Act, Act 936, and also the Security and Intelligence Act, which gives power to the Regional Security Council to also conduct investigations into such things when some security issues are involved. I have no doubt that this report will meet the needs and expectation of the Minister for Education.
Members of the committee were High Court Judge Justice Samuel Obindiewu, former headmaster of T.I. Ahmadiyya Senior High School, and the Ashanti Regional Director of the Bureau of National Investigation, BNI, David Eduosei. Chairman of the committee, Justice Samuel Obindiewu, says the witnesses were cooperative during its sittings.
All the witnesses we invited, they were very cooperative and assisted us in all our deliberations. So we have tried our best to come out with the report which represents, in our opinion, the fair representation of all the facts leading to the unfortunate incident.
Headmistress of the school, Felicia Asamoah-Dankwa, who was accused of negligence by her students, was interdicted by the GES. Two other members of staff, Owusu Ansah, a senior housemaster, and Anthony Awotri, a housemaster for the Densu house where the deceased students resided, were also asked to step aside for investigations to proceed.
Now, Parliament has adopted the report of the Finance Committee on the suspension of the fiscal responsibility rules for the 2020 financial year. The Fiscal Responsibility Act makes it an offence for the annual budget deficit to exceed 5% of GDP.
Government made known its intentions to suspend the rule in the mid-year budget review due to the impact of COVID-19 on government's projections. There's more in this report.
In the presentation of the mid-year budget review, the Minister of Finance made a request for the suspension of the fiscal rule. The Finance Committee of the House last week met with government officials to consider the request for the fiscal rule to be suspended. The Finance Committee presented its report to the House on Thursday, August 6th. Contributing to the debate before the approval, the Minority Leader Harry Naidruso reiterated why the minority earlier held the view that the Minister of Finance should face sanctions for breaching the fiscal rule.
I'm saying that statistics from the IMF, we should be able to reconcile it with the statistics that the Minister for Finance have shared with us, particularly when he gives the banking sector expenditure. So far, this Parliament has approved only about 16.7 billion, but he comes to report to Parliament 21 billion. When did he get authorization to spend the rest of the money? You said 21 billion. I'm quoting from the document, your mid-year review. You said 21 billion. And I say what you have authorization from this House to spend was not more than 16 billion. Those questions must be answered.
A Deputy Minister of Finance, Kweku Kwatin, provided justification for the suspension of the fiscal rule after the House adopted the report of the Finance Committee.
Today is that whilst revenue has taken a hit, expenditures have had to be escalated in order to contain the pandemic. It is that which has given rise to the excess over the threshold set in the Fiscal Responsibility Act, and that is why we request this House to approve the suspension, which the Minister has done already.
The Energy Minister John Peter Amewu was in the House to answer questions on the utilization of the 3% of tariffs charged as the public lighting levy for the provision and maintenance of street lights.
Whilst the total amount of 83,235,728.49 was transferred to the Ministry of Energy, a total amount of 46,462,596.56 was utilized by the Ministry of Energy. Inability for the utilization as a result of the timing.
MP for Adaklu Gavin Kwame Agboja, who posed the question to the minister, expressed dissatisfaction with the answers.
There's a variance of close to 20 million Ghana cedi, which the ministry received but could not account for. I was thinking the minister would be candid with the people of this country, that when people pay their street lights, it will be used for the purpose. We also know that we have street light deficit in this country. What am I talking about? There are communities that require street light. In fact, not even the remote areas. The street light on the motorway doesn't work. But we still pay street light for that. So when the people of this country give you an amount of money, 270 million and above, and the ministry itself, apart from the ECG, NEDCO, VRA, taking part of that money, when the ministry receives in excess of 83 million, and cannot account for close to 20 million, it's a big issue.
Reporting for City News from Parliament, my name is Duke Mensopoku.
Now, the Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic Research, ISE, wants government to track monies disbursed to support businesses affected by COVID-19 to ensure that they are going to the right targets to prevent corruption and misuse. Government has set aside different packages to assist businesses hit by the pandemic as part of efforts to revive the economy. Analyzing the 2020 media budget review at a press briefing, Director of ISE, Professor Peter Quote, said government spending must be properly tracked to minimize acts of corruption. There's more in this report.
The COVID-19 pandemic has had a significant impact on the global economy. Governments around the world are thus forced to implement various fiscal measures to mitigate the impacts on businesses, individuals, and households by providing different relief packages with the sole aim of reviving economies. The government of Ghana has thus rolled out several initiatives to cushion businesses and individuals. In the 2020 media budget review, government announced additional measures to sustain the gains as the country continues to record more COVID-19 cases. Speaking to City Business News, Professor Peter Quote expressed fears that government support to various sectors of the economy may be misused without adequate monitoring.
I mean, when you spend, you need to know that the money is used judiciously, and that calls for expenditure tracking. The last time I saw expenditure tracking was in 2007, where you track the money from where it is disbursed to the end beneficiary. When you do that at each stage of the expenditure chain, you are able to know whether you are getting value for money. And that is not, we are not doing much of that. So when that happens, especially in this COVID era where you want to move quickly, there's a need for PPEs, you want to move quickly, there's a need for this, you want to move quickly. Sometimes you shortchange some of the financial practices or financial rules or regulations. And people can hide behind COVID and dissipate resources. So it is about time we do expenditure tracking. We shouldn't wait for years for the Auditor General to come with reports and then we start inviting people. We should quickly move in and track the various expenditures so that we get value for money.
He also says government's revised GDP targets may not be achieved if COVID-19 safety protocols are not strictly enforced for the economy to open up more.
We are practicing social distancing, but I think there is a bit more for us to do. Enforcement, we have to step up enforcement. What we find in some areas where people are just basically not respecting the rules at all. Just like during the lockdown period where the security forces were around checking, not brutalizing, but at least to check and make sure people are respecting the protocol. That should be the case. You find now people attending parties, funerals, and what have you, and there's virtually no social distancing. And I think we need the security forces to come in, apart from education. Education is key. We also have to come in and enforce the laws.
You're still watching the City Newsroom on City TV. My name is Michael Obodu and I'm here with
Pearl Akanya-Ofori.
Still ahead in the bulletin, Managing Director of Ferro Fabric assaults City TV cameraman and destroys his equipment for covering agitations by workers of the company.
We'll be telling you what we know when we return.
Thank you, sir. Hello, my name is Samuel Ofori, a film actor and a film director. Because of the nature of my job, the taste for quality things is endless. Quality phones, quality laptops, quality TV sets. Let me show you my secret. Here is Franco Trading Enterprise. My secret for quality laptops, quality phones, quality TV sets, accessories, come on, external hard drive, pen drive, name it. For bulk purchase and retails, come to Franco Trading Enterprise. They will reduce the price for you. Franco Trading Enterprise. Home quality.
We have a priest. We have the Archdiocese of the Anglican Church in Seychelles has Ghanaian priests that are doing well. We've had Ghanaian teachers there. We've had Ghanaian fishermen. You've had WHO representatives from Ghana.
So there are Ghanaians in every sector.
Yes,
really?
in the justice, in the judges. We've had Ghanaian judges excel in Seychelles over the years.
I'm told the name Prempeh, which of course comes from Otumfo Nana Prempeh, is still a huge name and a name that is highly revered in Seychelles.
Yes, and it gives any Ghanaian going there a lot of pride.
Ghana has been good to you. Has Ghana given you a wife?
Oh, in fact, they give me a wife. They give me children and grandchildren.
Yeah. Oh,
I can
wow.
assure you. Yes. It's important to note that Elmina, it was the Portuguese who was living there in that corner. It's important to mention they were living there in that corner, and they were not allowed to go inland because it was a trade center, and they were allowed to be there. And unfortunately, we are removed from Ghana by the Dutch.
You're welcome back to the news. The managing director of Fero Fabric has attacked a cameraman with City TV, Edward Chum. He also destroyed the camera in an attempt to prevent him from filming a demonstration staged by angry workers of the company. The workers who were demonstrating against management and outsourcing company C4BT for shortchanging them massed up within the company's premises to express their frustration. City News' Tema correspondent Elvis Washington has the rest of the story.
Managing Director of Fero Fabric Limited, an iron rod manufacturing company limited located within the heavy industrial area of Tema, popularly known as KD, on Thursday attacked the cameraman of City TV, Edward Chum, and destroyed his camera for filming a demonstration by workers of the company. The workers massed up at the company's premises in protest of some inhumane treatment being meted out to them by management and an outsourcing agency.
For more than 5 to 6 years now, this woman is exploiting workers of Fero Fabric. Not only workers of Fero Fabric, the Ghanaian Labour Front is suffering because of this woman working at the Labour Commission.
12 hours, 12 cities, 12 cities, 12 hours, 12 cities, finance, firework. I can see now this our work, this side, our side, yeah, see, no, see my leg, see my leg. Also, you suffer 12 hours, 12 cities. We have been suffering every blessed day, 24/7. Holiday, we day here. Saturday, Sunday, we day here. We have never seen that woman before.
In the process of filming the demonstrating workers, City TV's cameraman Edward Chum was attacked. Some workers who witnessed the attack on City TV's cameraman Edward Chum alleged that the MD is noted for such behavior.
I was the one talking to him. Okay. They said you should see our pay slip, see what is going on. Then after he called the pay slip, he further to take another picture from the yard. Then the Indian man which was attacked him, try to take the camera out of his hand. So fast as he draw it back, he take the the money, the rents there, is not getting fraud.
An industrial relations officer of the National Labour Commission, Stephen Osaikisi, who was at the premises to broker peace between management and the workers, described the incident as unfortunate.
I am sure that both parties, your station, together with management of the company, can sit down and resolve that, and then we know that some firm decision can be made to ensure that doesn't happen again. Yes. Well, I think that media independence is equally important in any functioning society. So it gets a little worrying when sometimes these things take place.
Now, students of the Bright Senior High School at Kukurantumi in the Ebuaka North Municipality of the Eastern Region have attacked officials of the West African Examinations Council supervising the ongoing WASI in their school. The students subjected the supervisors to severe beatings and destroyed their mobile phones.
The WAEC officials allege that the proprietor of the school, Bright Amponsa, incited the students to attack them after supervision during the invigilation of the exam.
The proprietor of the school, he got agitated, went to the center, and then on top of his voice, he started shouting, "Stop writing the exams," incited the candidates, "Stop writing the exams. Get out. All of you get out. Stop writing the exam." Then we were with him because we were also there. Before we realized, the students had surrounded us. Once they surrounded us, then they gave them the command, "Beat them." So they started beating us. Collect their phones. We had our phones on. Watches, whatever the things that are collected, exhibits that are collected, the photocopied material and things that I was talking about, that are collected, took it away. They were searching whatever thing. They threw my wallet somewhere after taking whatever thing they wanted. I went and saw it somewhere, picked it. Whatever thing they saw, they just, and then the beatings, beat them, smashed their phones. So some of our phones were smashed. Others were collected. Me, my phone, they collected my phone. Where it is now, I don't know. Unfortunately, there was only one policewoman at the center. Under the circumstances, she was helpless. So we managed to get to her. And then she placed a call to the district command. And they brought reinforcement to the center.
I realized that when I was leaving, they were running after me in their multitude. So I have to also take to my heels. So I ran to close to 2 kilometer distance when they weren't catching up with me. So they jumped onto motorbikes and crossed me with crossbars and stones. So I had my bag at my back. So I didn't want to give the bag to them because I had money and all my ID cards and diaries in them. So I was struggling with them and they were shouting, "I'm a thief," so nobody wanted to approach me. So they beating me with a stake and I was still holding my bag because I didn't want to give it to them. But I realized that more and more students were coming and a moving vehicle was passing by. So it slowed a bit. So I had to leave the bag and then jump onto the moving vehicle.
Well, let's bring you other stories. The Savannah Regional Police Command has deployed police officers to the Indebra Dakpa SHS in the West Gonja Municipal Assembly following a demonstration by students there.
The students demonstrated yesterday against school authorities over what they say is strict social distancing and invigilation during their WASI.
And that'll be all for today's edition of the City Newsroom. For more news, visit citynewsroom.com.
Subscribe to CityTube on YouTube for more exclusive video content from City TV.
You can download the City Newsroom app on the Google Play Store or the App Store and keep updated on the go.
You can also watch City TV on DSTV channel 363 and GoTV channel 182.
My name is Paola Kanya Ofuri.
And I'm Michael Obodu. Thank you for watching. As always, please stay safe.
City TV is live. On DSTV, go to channel 363. On GoTV, access City TV on channel 182. On a digital TV, please press the menu button on the remote control and run a new search on your TV. Take note that without an antenna, you cannot access City TV on your television. City TV can be accessed on a free-to-air digital box like the GoTV and Star Times box. City TV, it's your world.
Precision, style, class, execution, talent. Congratulations to the top 20 contestants that made it to the main audition for Keyboard Idol. The question is, which of these 20 talents will be in the top 10 and ultimately become the Keyboard Idol? Catch the Keyboard Idol every Saturday at 7 p.m. only on City TV. Tune in to City TV and follow the conversation using the hashtag Keyboard Idol for updates or visit citytvonline.com. This amazing talent competition is sponsored by Asanka, powered by Tech Aid, and
Rigworld Solutions is a wholly owned Ghanaian company that offers multiple engineering solutions for the extractive and petrochemical industries. We manufacture industrial bolts and nuts, fasteners, hoses and fittings. From our factory at Kejebri in Takoradi in the western region of Ghana, Rigworld Solutions employs Ghanaians to produce world-class products. With cutting-edge technology, all products are manufactured to ensure the strictest adherence to customer specifications. The threading, cutting, chamfering, and stamping of the bars are modeled around the ISO 9001 global standard. Safety is at the heart of every production process at Rigworld Solutions. From the coating to the sandblasting, the washing and the phosphate treatment, our quality control checks are the most rigorous in the industry. We have instituted full part traceability throughout the manufacturing process, and all products are measured and inspected for specification conformity before deployment to you. Locate our factory in Kejebri off the Takoradi-Takwa Road. Call 0302 949917 or 0540 107504. Email enquiries at rigworldsolutions.com. Rigworld Solutions, crafted in Ghana, engineered for the world.
So welcome to another edition of What the Papers I Say. My name is Vivian Kai Loco. This show brings you the top headlines for the week from various media outlets. In a bit, I'll give you an idea of the top stories for the week and how they were captured by various media outlets. My name is Vivian Kai Loco. Don't go away. I'll be right back. So 3 key issues appear to have made top headlines this week. The first to do with Professor Ahoy's book, the second to do with the WASSCE examinations and issues to do with some unruly behavior by students, among others, and the third, of course, to do with the voter registration exercise. So with that in mind, let's see how those stories were captured. Let's start with the voter registration exercise, and let's start with City Newsroom and see some of the top stories on that matter. They say voter registration, EC to hold mop-up exercise from August 8 to 9. Still with City Newsroom, Ketu South voters registration not discontinued for Ghana card registration. This is the EC talking over there. And then we'll wrap up with City News. Over 15 million voters captured on new register. Prove Ghana's unbloated electoral roll. Imani speaking to that issue. Daily Graphic says 2020 general elections aspirants to file online EC. Daily Guide, Nana Otumfuo secure voters ID. NPP punches Mahama over bigotry comments. The Herald, NPP and NDC caught up in ethnicity squabble over Elwes and others. The publisher says Mahama accuses Akufo-Addo of ethnic discrimination in voter registration. Elembele NPP candidate voter ID seized by EC. The Daily Post says EC's claim of multiple registration suspicious. Imani speaking again. And then still with the Daily Post, they have a story on President Akufo-Addo where they say, I am unaware of any intimidation at registration centers. President Akufo-Addo speaking over there. And let's end with stories to do with the voter registration exercise and go to the Herald and see what story they had. They say Mahama talks tough to Akufo-Addo on misuse of soldiers for ethnic discrimination. Let's move to Professor Ahoy's book and see how various media outlets captured stories around that book. Let's start with City Newsroom again. They say, I have a mind of my own. Ablaka rubbishes Ahoy's claims of anti-Rawlings agenda. Still with City Newsroom and on reactions to the book, I wasn't part of any plot to attack Rawlings, Kwache Fosu speaking. Omane Boama has also reacted to that book. He says, defend